time to get to the place that you wanted me to be. I know it was never you. I just needed to work on me. But now I'm ready. I'm ready to love.
Hey guys, and welcome to Littleblackbook 91. Yes, we are having one of those fabulous conversations again with Jonathan from Ready to Love, the latest season. Look, it's been one of those crazy seasons. A lot has happened, and I know there's so many questions that you guys want me to ask Jonathan. And we're going to get to those fabulous questions a little bit later on. But as always, please, before we do, keep it cute, keep it classy, and keep it kosher in the chat. The mods will do what the mods do, and they will block or they will put you on timeout if you're acting a bit too much. All right. So we appreciate you guys for joining us. If you haven't done so, make sure you guys are liking, your sharing and subscribing to the channel. We want to see you guys help us get to 100k going forward, and we appreciate every little bit of help that you guys give us going forward as well. Look, we're going to get into this. We're going to get some conversation flowing, but before we do, we're going to get to know Jonathan first and then get into some Ready to Love stuff. But first and foremost, Jonathan, how are you doing today, Captain?
I'm good today, man. Today was Successful Tuesday. I can't complain.
Ooh. What does a successful Tuesday look like, sir? Huh?
Well, work was smooth. Customers were coming out. I left home. I came back. That's a blessing within itself right there, man. So I did a little shopping, online shopping.
Cool.
I took my boy to school this morning. I mean, I had no issues today. Not one issue.
That.
So it was, just your regular scheduled programming. So success, man.
I love that. Fantastic. All right, listen, before we go into any particular conversation, we like to do a thing here called human verification. It just means, we like to make sure you're not AI, make sure you're not a robot. Like to ask some just random questions just to warm up the conversation, get you warmed up and make sure that you're not some digital, artificial intelligence. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. All right, listen, first question we got for you, Jonathan, is if you had a plane ticket, you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
I'm going to Nigeria, man.
Ooh.
Nigeria, it's so much fun. I have so much fun with my dad's side of the family. My aunties, uncles, cousins. I don't have to worry about anything or stress when I go to Nigeria. So it's just all around just fun, man. Eating, shopping, partying, the whole nine. So
yep.
First class ticket. I'm out the door, man. 18-hour flight. Yeah.
I need to be on the same flight you on, bro.
Well, when I say first class, I mean, like,
No. You can say it. First class, bro. Some of us are in economy and premium plus, okay? Nothing wrong with that at all. When's the last time you went to Nigeria?
Last time I went to Nigeria was 2018. I went for Christmas.
Wow. Love that.
2018. I went for Christmas. I stayed for a whole month.
Wow.
Yeah, and I that was my time to woosah. Really just relax, decompress before I came back to the States and actually worked. So that was the last time I've been.
Love that. Second question for you, obviously, is Android or iPhone?
iPhone. I've been iPhone user since college, probably 2007, 7, 8, somewhere in there.
iPhone 3, 2?
Somewhere in there. I'm iPhone, man.
It was early doors.
Android that's a different country right there, man. I don't know how to hold it, how to use it, how to take a picture. I'm like, I could be just like this with an Android. Be like, shit. Wrong, brother. I don't know what's going on here, So, iPhone. Been with iPhone for a very long time. Before iPhone, I was Nextel. I was a Nextel church guy.
Ooh. So, okay. So you're about it. You're about it. I like that. Okay. Third question for you. If you had to have a last meal, what would that last meal be?
If I made it or if somebody else made it, it don't matter.
Don't matter.
Okay, if I had to have a last meal, it would have to be fried rice, plantain, and
Mm.
catfish.
Jeez.
That's one of my all-time favorite meals. It's very simple, very basic, but it gets
Mm.
the job done. So
I love
that
it.
was my
Okay.
last meal. That would be my last meal.
Are you cooking that, or is that being cooked by someone else?
No, it's cooking by somebody else, brother. I don't cook. I cannot cook. I do my best with bacon, like fish in the oven. Um, scramble some eggs, but I can't cook that.
That's fair. Always. Do you have a favorite Nigerian dish?
Like fried rice, plantain, and catfish, man. I mean,
Okay,
you
that's
can't.
your favorite. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
fair enough.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. I didn't even. Do you know? I didn't even know that Nigerians like catfish like that. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Catfish is man. It's bomb, man. It's bomb, man. It's a club out there called Cubana in
I've heard. Yeah.
Victoria Island. Yeah, they have some of the best catfish, like in the world. That catfish is off the chain. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah.
It's interesting that you chose catfish. You know, being Nigerian as well. Sorry, I just had a little bit of slander. My bad. I couldn't help myself. As a Ghanaian, we like to boss bass a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's just funny you
Yeah.
chose catfish. You know, Nigerians and catfish, together.
I mean, some people will go with fufu, some will go with goosey soup, but hey, I like that catfish. There's something about this fish that's shit. So it's different though.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though. It's different from here from a Nigerian, but it's different. But it's my go-to.
No worries, no worries. We're with it. We're with it. Final question. Cereal or the milk in the bowl first?
I'm gonna do cereal in the bowl before the milk.
Any particular cereal?
My favorite cereal, Lucky Charms.
That'd be
Lucky
hitting.
Charms.
I hear that. Can't lie to you. All right, I appreciate you. Listen, I think you are a human being. You've answered the questions correctly to the best of your ability. You've given expansion. We think you're a human being, Jonathan. Okay, we think you're a human being, and we appreciate you for sharing your thoughts. Let's get into some conversation. Let's get to know you a bit better, because outside of Ready to Love, you are more than just show that you've been on. Okay, so we want to get to know you a bit better and understand where you're coming from and your particular perspective. So my first question is, Jonathan, who is Jonathan, and what is Jonathan's story?
Okay. My name is Jonathan Lamar Boone, 37 years old, born and raised in Dallas, Texas, by way of Nigeria. My mom is from Shreveport, Louisiana. My dad is from Nigeria, Anambra State. So I have the best of both worlds. I grew up more so on my mom's side of the family because they're here as opposed to my dad's side. So I'm more Americanized than I am Nigerian, if that makes sense. I grew up two-parent household. There's four of us, girl, boy, four of us in total. I am the second oldest of four. College graduate. I went to Prairie View A&M University, which is a little bit outside of Houston, Texas. I got a master's. I have a degree in communications with a focus of film and television. So I did a lot of work in the TV station, studio, things of that nature. My favorite color is black, as you can see. I'm a big basketball fan, Lakers all day. I did have aspirations of actually wanting to play basketball, but my parents had a different plan for me in regards to academics. So that was something that that was a hard pill for me to swallow, just being a child, listen to his parents and, keep it calm in the house, if that makes sense. I have two nephews, two nephews, one niece. Oldest one is 20. She's in school right now. The youngest one is in high school. What else you want to know about me, brother? Cowboy Nation all day. If you watch football, Cowboy Nation all day. We're going to get it this next year. It was okay. We didn't make it this one, but next year we're going to figure this thing out. I'm a guy who likes to smile, likes to have great conversation. I'm a man of sense of humor. I love to laugh. Love good energy. Love being around people who are very sociable and just overall just being human beings. So
I love that.
If I feel a bad vibe or a bad energy, I tend to veer away from those things. They just don't know what, who I am as a person. Not saying that everybody can be easygoing, or they may have a shell. I mean, a shell in general, but I just like to be a people person and just make sure people are comfortable around me all day. So
I love that. So obviously, interesting enough, you actually mentioned something. You said obviously you almost like you sense people's energy. Has that always been the case for you? That you sense people's energy and kind of operate
not
around
not
that?
not always. That took some time to actually like become, if that makes sense. Um, I mean, I can say, if I can remember, I can probably start to like sense things like that. Probably like in college, knowing that I'm away from friends and family, so I'm learning new people now, and just seeing how people can operate, or if they're more, or if they're welcoming. So you can just feed off of that and just kind of figure out, how can I create an icebreaker, or how can I warm up to this person, or vice versa. So I would say probably maybe 18, 19 years old, give or take, somewhere in that range. So yeah. But it really hit once I hit like adulthood and things like that.
Yeah.
Started being more social, and you're out and about, you're at these lounges and just all these social events that I was at beforehand. So, it just kind of it finds its way to you, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Because obviously sensing energy, I guess people and then kind of responding to it, it's quite a unique trait and skill. Not everyone has it, and not everyone actually operates from that particular space as well. What would you say what was happening for you around that time? I know you said obviously, going to school, obviously friends kind of, going their own direction and stuff like that, in new environments and stuff. But what was happening for you at that point in time, around about that 18, for you? What life events, I guess, were happening for
Well,
you?
I can say this, man. I'm a guy, just throughout my 16, 17, 18-year old, just trying to figure out who I am. I mean, I know I'm still young, but I'm still trying to just get my footing. I'm a guy who grew up with very, very low self-esteem. I really did not know how to talk to people. I really did not know how to talk to women. I did not really know how to be a social guy. So breaking into that element to when I went to college, I had no choice but to, because I didn't have my peers around who I was comfortable with. And, I'm in a new environment now. So I needed to figure out, how am I going to maneuver? How am I going to fit in, at the same time stand out, amongst new people, new faces from all walks of life. And that development started to happen once I, left the family home. So if that
I
answers your
appreciate you
question.
sharing that. Yeah, no, that answers it. So for you, obviously, then, like, obviously, you mentioned, obviously, because I know you mentioned on the show as well, the low self esteem and having to even learn certain things through TV shows and stuff like that as well. Why did you feel like you had such low self esteem then up until that point?
Well, growing up, I wasn't just I in my I wasn't the most at the time handsome guy. I was a guy
I
who had a lot
understand.
of like, a lot of just a lot of acne, had a big afro. You remember Master P?
Yeah,
No, he was okay. You remember he had the shades with the big
the shit. Yeah.
sides?
Oh yeah.
I I tried to be creative at like 16, 15, 16, and just like, because I wear glasses originally. I put lenses in those type of things, right? And I'm thinking that's a cool thing. I'm like, all right, if I put these on, they're gonna accept me. They're gonna, da 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 da. And it did not work at that time. I was called, I was ridiculed in front of I was just embarrassed in front of people, like, having pants pulled down in the middle of class, or you got kids playing tricks on you in the school, things of that nature. And that's what I experienced between my junior high and high school space, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I just did not have the confidence in myself to be who I really wanted to be. Like, I'm looking at, you got your popular high school kids over there, the star football players over there. They got something that I want, but I don't know how to get it, because I don't have that within me. Like, I don't have that confidence. So by 18, 19, going into college, I cleared up the skin. I got rid of the glasses. I got a new haircut. I'm starting to see things change now, just as far as and things like that. So I'm like, this is pretty cool. This is Okay, this what's up. This what's up. Okay, I'm gonna keep whatever this is up. Whatever this is, I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm just being myself. I'm
Yeah.
not talking different. I'm not walking different. I'm not acting out of my character. I'm just trying to figure out who I am overall. So that took some time for me to establish, if that makes sense. And even to this day, I mean, I'm not overly I'm confident within myself, right? But as far as like what people say or think, it doesn't really bother me no more because I'm not in that space no more. So, my focus is on other things, and people just, people are going to be people. People are going to say things about you, whether it's good or bad, and it's up to you on how you take it. So it just it took a developmental stage, just being around other people and just figuring out where I fit in order for me to stand out. So yeah, and I was in my high school, in my elementary high school, I was the darkest kid.
That's
Like
another
the
thing. Yeah.
darkest kid. Like, I've been called
That's
African
another
booty
thing.
scratcher. I've been
Oh,
called the whole nine, So it took me a while to develop my confidence as far as my skin tone, and I think I've done a very, very good job with that over time.
how did you move through that phase? Because obviously, I know exactly what you're talking about, being dark skinned. Obviously, we had a lot of that even in the UK. So, how did you deal with that particular aspect of life in terms of skin tone? Because that's something you can't change. Skin tone is skin tone. You know what I mean? So, how did you manage to navigate that time period where for your complexion it wasn't loved, it wasn't cared for, it wasn't appreciated as it is now? How did you navigate that space?
I just had to take those bullets, man. From men and women. There's nothing that I can do about that. I'm not going to try to, there's nothing I can do. So either you love me or you hate me. If you disrespect me, I just know not to be around you. And I go where I am, appreciated with, no matter you black, white, Asian, whatever. But for some reason, we mesh. I mesh with these people. But y'all, can I curse on this platform?
Eh,
I won't. I won't. But those who didn't mess with me or deal with me, I stayed away from those people because they didn't really help me just to be comfortable with who I am and amongst that crowd. So it's funny how the tables can turn, man. It's funny how the tables can turn. I've seen a lot of those. I ran into a lot of those people just over the years, maybe this 3-4 years, and my, wow. I shook their hands, respected them, hey man, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you since high school, since junior high, since whatever, and they respect me that much now. Maybe because of what they see on internet or just as an adult,
as you
I'm a
grow,
man.
yeah.
I'm a man now. So what you did then, what people did to me then, it doesn't affect to how I see them now, if that makes sense. Because I ran into a lot of them, and it's a handshake, it's a hug. I love you, bro. Do your thing. I gotta go. You take care. So it just came with time. Really, it really came with time. So yeah.
That's not an easy thing to. I know. Obviously, now you're looking back at it and you can be so gracious to those people, but at the time, that must have been very hard to deal with because, like I said, you can't change it, of course. And as a child, you just want to be able to be liked and appreciated. You want to be loved. You know what I mean? That's just normal human psychological behavior. Every human wants to be liked and appreciated. And if you're then differentiated because of skin tone, that's probably one of the hardest things to have to go through. So I definitely understand. If there was some pain there because, it's a tough time as a kid. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
we all want to be appreciated. In
for
that
sure.
aspect.
For sure. For sure.
So for you, obviously, then you obviously said about not necessarily having the highest confidence at the point in time. Do you feel, or should I say, what contribution was that from also being in the home? Did you feel seen in the home? Being at home, I know you have three other siblings. Did you feel like you were seen, heard? Because African households, you know, like how it can be, bro.
Different, man. It's a different ball game. Even at this big age, it's a different ball
It's
game.
even ball game.
As far as I was seen in the home for my brothers and my sisters.
Mm.
I was seen in the home for my mom. Now, from as far as my dad's side, dad was always working. Dad was always
Yeah.
gone. Dad was trying to take care of the household. I didn't understand that at 13 years old, 14 years old, 18 years old. But at the same time, I was still missing that you know,
Interaction.
right?
Mm.
So I didn't really get to know my dad until probably 21 years old. And that's when I started working with him and things like that, you know, trying to run a business, run a shop, and just, you know, just try to keep things going. That's when I really started to just learn him at that age. Now, don't get me wrong. He was there, you know, he was there growing up when he could
Physically,
be.
yeah.
And I have those moments, you know, those memories. I still have those memories. But majority of the time he was gone. And I didn't understand that at that
I hear
time.
that.
I don't think I really understood that until about 27, 28 years old. I'm starting to become more of an adult now, and I'm like, okay, so that's what you were doing. That's why we were able to, quote unquote, do what we wanted to do, in a sense. Like, that's why you were, okay. It makes sense now. It makes sense now. I appreciate you more now that I know, as opposed to you actually telling me. So it's me just figuring it out. So, but yet, was I seen in the household? Absolutely. I'm the oldest son. So, you know, I had a lot of responsibilities on my, you know, just watching after my younger siblings. So I was seen, you know, in the house, and I'm still seen to this very day. You know, my older sister, younger sister, and younger brother, they look up to me very much, even when I don't see it. But, you know, I feel it. So, you know, yeah, I was seen. I wasn't neglected as a child and nothing like that.
It's interesting because obviously you mentioned about, and I always share this with my audience as well. I'm firstborn too, right? So obviously, I know people don't like the word neglect because it insinuates a parent wasn't necessarily doing the best job, right? But I come from an African household myself. I'm Ghanaian, so I come from an African household. When we talk about neglect, we're not talking about you didn't have food and shelter and the basics of life. You were well taken care of in those spaces. African parents are very prideful. There ain't no way they're going to let you go without a meal, right? And without food in your back, it's just not going to happen. The part where where generations change and the difference is the emotional presence. So the most important parts of a child's life are things that the child considers to be key moments in its life, right? So it's not necessarily the food on the table, clothes on the back, and the roof over the head. That's only one aspect. The other aspect also is that emotionally, was a person able to be present for me at that time? Like let's say for instance, I played a lot of sports. I played football, soccer, you know, and you know, my dad was working, mum was working too. But I wish that he came to some of those games and saw them. I did acting. I did some acting, and when I was younger, I wish he had come to some of those shows, right? Those were important moments for me, you know what I mean? So much so that when he did finally come to an acting show that I did, at the end of it, me and my brother, I broke down in tears. And people were like, what? They thought it was act. I said, yeah, the act is also part of the tears, but this is real. Like, that's how I feel, you know what I mean? Because I finally get to see that my dad's watching me. And you don't realize the impact of a parent being there in those key moments that does something to you. You know what I mean? I don't know if that resonates with you in any particular shape or form.
No, it does. It does. I want to go back to you're Ghanaian, right?
Yeah.
You know our rice is better than yours now, right?
Now you know not to go there.
Rice, right?
You know not to go there.
I know. Hey, listen, man. Okay. Your question? I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
It's more of a share. It's more to say, like, you know, about talking about, because you mentioned about your dad. My thing was also my dad too. Like, I wished he was more emotionally present at the time. This is not about the fact that he's not a good father. It's more about the fact that there was more that he could have done that he didn't realize he could have done, because of course he's working hard. You know what I mean? He's doing what needs to be done for the household to be afloat, and that will never be questioned. But as children, we are almost quote unquote what they say narcissistic. We will always try to reason a situation out to say, well, it's because of me that this didn't happen. And a lot of times children also, not a lot of times, every child needs emotional care as well as physical needs being met. So I kind of was just sharing my perspective in terms of what I had experienced. And I was wondering if that was the same for you, because you mentioned dad was working a lot. So in that younger years, did you get to have that emotional connection that you needed, or that emotional care that you needed from your father in that sense?
No, no, no. From an emotional standpoint, no, my dad is not really an emotional, lovey-dovey kind of
Same.
guy. So it's not there, you know. It's just not there, But it's on me now to change that trajectory now that I have my kid, to show that a black man can be. You can be vulnerable, son. You can cry if you need to, but you got to survive. You got to put your head up. You got to keep going.
That's it.
So I wasn't taught that from my dad, but just going through it was taught, but not verbally said.
Verbally, yeah.
So okay, all right, you see me doing this, doing that. Okay, well, I'm gonna make sure I don't do this with my kid. I'm gonna make sure he knows that it's okay. It's okay to just be who you are and to just, show every emotion that you have, happy, sad, joyful, whatever. Like, just as long as you show it, just know it's okay to be that person around me. I don't want you to hide it that way, because if I start asking what's wrong with you, you don't say nothing. I'm concerned now, and I want that space to be open for my son to do such, because I know he's going to be a better man than me, as he continues to get older. But I want him to continue to be past that same infrastructure down to his kid. You can't be macho all the time. You can't be just this. You can't do that. I personally don't do that. I know I can. I'm good. I'll pass. So just the fact that I can, I'm teaching my kid now, that it's okay to just be yourself. He's only 4. He doesn't know much, but he knows his dad.
Yeah.
So we have a great relationship, and he those missing pieces of the puzzle, man. He's completing me, if that makes sense. So
no, it makes sense.
Really big blessing, man. God has given me a great gift within this kid, and I love him so much, man.
I love that. So for you, obviously now, you're now the father. In fact, actually saying that, were you we call this what we call a third parent in psychology. We call it third parent syndrome, right? Were you a third parent in the household, meaning that you became the father figure for your siblings below you, as an emotional present figure?
I never saw it like that. I just saw me being like, you're the oldest. You got to set an example for your young ones. But I'm not thinking of the term responsibility and nothing like that. I'm just, this is what the teachings in the house was happening at the time. But now that I look back at it, that was a pretty heavy, sign of responsibility that I took on. I didn't see it as it being a hard thing to do. It's just, hey, bro, this is what's going on. This is what mom needs you to do. I need you to do it too. I love you. You know what I'm saying? So, I talk to him like you're my brother, but I talk to you like we friends. So just be comfortable. Make a space to where you can be yourself. So responsibility wise, it was there. I never thought of it at the time, but I did what I was told. Watch after your brother and your sister. My mom go to work. No problem. Should be in bed at a certain time. No problem. I'll do all that. Just make sure the food ready, because I can't cook now. So, but damn, I'm responsible for my brother and sister. Yeah. And then they're both college graduates too. I was the first to go to college in my family. My older sister did not, but I was the first to go to college, and I led by example. My sister went right at one. My sister's 3 years younger than me, so she went, and then my brother went, 3 years a year after her. So, yeah, man, that's a beautiful thing. I never thought of it like that. That's a beautiful thing.
So wait, you have an older sister, and then you.
Yeah, I have an older sister. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you have an older sister than you.
Girl, boy. Yeah.
Okay, so yours is slightly different. So although you're the oldest male, and you played I guess obviously the patriarchal position, which is that often in African households the male becomes the one that becomes responsible in a sense. Ah, okay.
It's different, huh? It's different, man. It's different, man.
It's because obviously it just gives us a bit more insight, right? Because obviously, how would you describe your relationship with your older sister? Because that's slightly different. Because obviously, coming from African household again, I'd love to know your perspective on that.
Well, as you know, like everybody's an adult, so everybody has their own thing going on, right? My older sister, she's 40. She's 42 years old. I had to use my fingers to count. Uh, she's 42 years old. Um, I don't see her as much because she's working. She's a single mother of three, so she's just working extra hard just to keep, just to keep that roof over her head. But when we see each other, whether say it's after 2 months, 3 months, it's like we picked up right where we left off. If that makes sense. The love is still there. The energy is still there. It's like we never skipped a beat. But when life be life, and sometimes, and I understand sometimes that detachment has to happen in order for us to learn more about ourselves, and we just come back together stronger. Make sense? So yeah, but I mean, we're not as close as we used to be. I can say that, but we still text from time to time, call from time to time. But when we see each other, it's like it's like we never missed a beat. Never missed a beat. So that's my older sister. I love her. That's my girl.
I love that, man. So obviously, give us. You said obviously your mum was a bit more. You felt like your mum was there for you and stuff. So tell us a little bit how do you describe your relationship with your mum?
Say that one more time.
I was going to say, tell us how you describe your relationship with your mum in a sense.
I'm still mom's baby boy. Mom still she'll say, "Come over every day. Like I'm get a plate, baby." All right, mom. Come on, son. I ain't seen you in a while. You doing all right? Like she'll make me put my hands up, turn around, let me make sure you still, you still here. Your thing's still good. Everything's still working. Me and mom still have a great relationship. We said we kind of drifted off, like kind of when I graduated from college, like just kind of like not so-called bumping heads, but we just something's not aligned right now. Like, mom, I don't want to talk to you right now. I've had enough, da da da. But that's my one and only mom, and I value her and her support very, very much. She's the only mom I've had. That's the best mom I've had, and I'm very grateful for her to still be alive. She's 67 years old
Beautiful.
now. She'll be 68 in June. She don't look 68. She look like 48, 48, 49. So, my biggest supporter is mom. Mom is dope, bro. Mom is dope.
I respect that.
Yeah, man.
You said you bumped heads. What was the bumping heads? Was that when you were growing old and telling rebellion?
It was just certain things that she wanted me to do that I was just being very hard headed and just not wanting to, follow suit with. Whether it be like helping out siblings or go do this for me and go do that for me. Sometimes I had days where like, Mom, I don't even want to answer the phone sometimes. I'm just in the space right now. I just want to be left alone. So, it happens, I mean, it's not, it wasn't 100% all the way, but I never lost respect for, I never disrespected her, never, none of that nonsense because I know better. So, just that it happens, it happens. That's even happened with my other siblings and things of that nature, even with friends to this day, But again, when we get together, it's like we never lost a beat. We picked up where we left off. We happy. Now, do we have those conversations? You're like, hey man, I know we haven't talked. I didn't like what you did, this and that. Oh, okay, well, I'm a man enough to apologize if I hurt somebody's feelings. If I hurt your feelings, I apologize. I don't mean to disrespect because I don't want to be disrespected. So in order to give it, you got to get it. Get it, you got to give it. So yeah. But again, like I said, we cool, we great. My biggest supporter. She's healthy. She's happy. She's retired. So she's just living her life right now.
I hear that. So it sounds like obviously being in an African household, I know that sometimes a request is not really a request. It's a demand. It's it's a you it's a you got to do it. So sometimes they like, can you do this for me? Really isn't can. It's you're going to do.
I need you
Did
to
you
do
did
something.
you feel like at points that certain things were coming from African household again? Was it felt like sometimes it's not a request, you have no choice in it. You can't say no, almost in a sense. You have to go follow through because obviously that's family, in it.
Yeah. Well, you got to do it, man. I mean, you, you know us. We could just, that little tick in the tongue, like that was a no, right?
Yeah,
So
you can't do
I
that.
did everything to keep my composure. Like I really don't want to do this, but like whatever type of, just something, just here we go. I did it, but it's taught me, as I've gotten older that discipline is a very important thing. It's very, very important, and sometimes you just got to do things you just don't want to do, but it's gonna propel you to where you want to be. So, that was a good training, teaching in my household, you know. And I mean, it's still to this day. I'm like, oh gosh, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But it's not as like aggressive as it was back then as a child. So
I get
yeah,
that.
for
I get
sure.
that. So obviously, leaving childhood, getting older. You obviously went into a family business as well. But
Sure.
obviously, education wise, did you guys get to, you got to obviously. I'm guessing you went to college as well.
Yeah, I went to college. Yes,
What,
yes.
what college did you
I
go
went
to, and what did you
to
study?
I went to the Prairie View A&M University. It's about 45 minutes outside of Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Historically black college and university. Um, that's where I got my education from. I didn't have any intentions of going to school after college. I'll be honest with you. I was so tired of school after, let's just say, 15 years. You start from age 5 to age. My initial goal was to go to a trade school. I wanted to learn how to be an electrician at 16, 17 years old. I was just trying to fix certain things, like whether it's a wristwatch or a clock. It's just trying to fix certain things that were broken, and I was just intrigued with that. Uh, Up until when I actually graduated and said, hey, let me give this college thing out. My son, I really want you to go to school. I understand you want to do a trade, but I really want you to go and get you a college degree. I'm like, all right, mom, I'll put this pen to the pad and let me fill out these applications, things like that. So, but I initially did not want to go to college at 18 years old. I was just tired of school. I just want to make money and just provide for me and my family, things like that. So.
Love that. What was some of the key learns that you learned in that place, the Prairie View, actually you can say.
Well, for one, you're here to get your education, so you need to buckle down on your books. Two, you got to learn how to be responsible because nobody here is going to tell you when to wake up, when to wash your butt, when to fold your clothes. Uh, for three, eventually, I ended up getting a job at the school. I was working in the library. You need to learn more about working, putting in hours, learning how to manage your money, things of that nature. And then four, just staying out of trouble. Your goal is to, go to school, get your education, graduate, and then start your career. That was like the four main things, your education, responsibility, learning how to manage your finances, and staying out of trouble. Because it was very easy to get in trouble with people who didn't finish with me, if that makes sense. A lot of people did not finish school. A lot of people left after the first semester, you know, and it's like, shit, I'm glad I wasn't one of those guys, So those are the main things right there. It was like, man, the art of survival. Because you can call mom, but mom like 400 miles away. She can't be here tomorrow. You got to figure this out on your own. But that advice over the phone, it helped out to like put that fire under me in order for me to proceed. So I almost got kicked out of school just by partying too much. I almost got kicked out,
What?
but I had to buckle down because I knew I didn't want to go back home. I did not want to go back home, man. Everybody starts in college with a 4.0 GPA, right? Now that I'm on my own, I have this free hand. Like I have no, I'm free now. Getting around guys and girls and, just trying to learn just who I am or whatever the case may be, learning in school. There were a lot of parties, a lot of late nights, early mornings, sometimes not going to class, and once the school said, "Hey, man, you are on probation due to
Mm.
poor
Attendance
grade.
and
If you
grading.
don't buckle down, you'll be out of here in 2 months, 3 months, like before the semester ended." So that lit a fire under me, had a light bulb in my head. I said, "No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go home. I'm about to figure this shit out now, you know." And I did. I did, man. I did pretty damn well. Pretty damn well. Because it was all on me at the end of the day, you know?
Mm.
It was all on me at the end of the day. So
Why were you not wanting to go back?
I love the freedom that I was experiencing. I just love the freedom in general. Just I'm not in my parents' house, so I can go and come into my building whenever I please, type of thing. Stay out as late as I want, eat as much junk food as I want, et cetera, et cetera. So just experiencing that freedom for me was it, if that makes sense.
You were
So
free to respond. You were free from the responsibilities that
well,
that you
I
hold.
still have my responsibilities, but as far as being in the house at a certain time, curfew, I'll clean up after myself. I'm not a slob or nothing like that, but I had those chores that I did at home that I didn't necessarily do in school. But once things start to build up, dishes, towels, dirty clothes, I'm like, oh no, it's not gonna work because I don't like clutter. I don't like clutter in the house or
Mm.
just like a hoarder situation. So that taught me a lot right there. And I had a roommate on top of that, so you know I ain't gonna say he didn't play that, but I saw his cleanliness as opposed to mine. And I said, no, I can't walk into this house every day when this bed is not done
Mm.
or dishes are not washed. So I said, I got to change this perspective because it helps the mind think better, you know? So,
I get you. No,
yeah,
I'm definitely with that. Definitely with that.
yeah,
So
man.
obviously, college time comes, and most of us, we start seeing the world and seeing what it has to offer. The
Mm-hmm.
gazelles and antelopes that are roaming around in
Mm-hmm.
the free
Yeah,
areas.
for sure.
So,
For sure.
was it actually college time that that you started dating, or that you started interacting with the opposite sex, or was it even earlier for you?
No, well, I somewhat dated like my senior year in high school, but I didn't. That was like my first girlfriend. But I'm at like
Mm.
17 years old. Now, again, the guys before me, well, same age, but they were more experienced and advanced with like girls and intimacy and all those things. So I was a late bloomer, right? So um, I started to, develop a likeness in college more so than I remember in high school. And I was my sophomore year. I was 19 going on 20 years old. And again, I started to change my image in a sense.
Mm.
I'm starting to see the attention that it was getting. And that's when I started to just like learn how to carry a conversation, not be so uptight, not be one worded answer type of guy. Um, just be personable as possible, if that makes sense. Be as personal as possible. Show characters, show sense of humor, just show who you are,
Mm.
even if it's not accepted. So, but yeah, I'm gonna say about 20, like 19, 20, sophomore year. That's when I started to see the development take its course.
Your first love, what was that like for Jonathan?
And I was 17 years old, man. I lost my virginity 17 years old.
Mm.
Uh, Girl's name was Portia. Uh,
Jeez. Shout out to Portia.
she was fine, man. I was a fine woman at that age, at that time frame. I said, "Ooh, this girl fine." She was very beautiful, man. I mean, we dated, like I said, I was about 17 years old, like kind of my first girlfriend, trying to even figure out what is a boyfriend, what do I do? How do I treat her? Things like that. So first love, high school, 17 years old, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. I mean, of course, I ain't gonna, would you I mean I was more so in like. I didn't know what love was at that
Mm.
time. So, if that answers the question, I was more so in like very
Why'd you say you
strong.
was more like?
Well, again, I was a late bloomer, a very
Mm.
late bloomer. So I'm just trying to catch up where everybody else is at, you know. I mean, you can say you love somebody 2, 3 days of being with somebody, but that's not really how it works, you know. So, I can't. But like, that was my first love. That's who I lost my virginity to, things like that. So we were together maybe 6 months, maybe if that. And yeah, she dumped me after we had our first intimacy thing going on. I was yeah, I was blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So I was in and out, but I mean, it was that was my first, I loved her, I liked her,
Mm.
so
All right, I got it. Listen,
yeah,
I ain't mad at it. So after
yeah.
6 months, 6 months dated, you liked her, intimacy happens, relationship breaks down.
Hmm.
Did she ever tell you why that it broke down? Did she ever tell you why?
No, she
That
didn't
time.
tell me why. No, she didn't like sit me down and tell me why she didn't want to be with me anymore. No, she just said, "Yeah, we're not gonna be able to be together." So, well, she didn't, like why? What's the reason why?
She wanted a relationship, basically.
She didn't want a relationship.
That's
So
fair.
I was like, okay, that's cool. At that time, I'm like, yeah, and I was hurt at 17 years old. I don't know no better,
Trust
but yeah, I
me.
was like, shit, that sucks, man. That sucks, man. And then there was no telling what, because we all, with your high school, you just everybody knows everybody, so you never know what's being told to whoever for whatever reason. So certain things you just hear through the grapevine, and things like that. So it is what it is.
So she robbed you.
She what now?
She robbed you.
What does that mean?
She took the V and ran with it.
Okay, she took the and ran with it for sure. Damn. Like, damn, like, oh man,
She
you
robbed you.
know.
She pulled a man move. No, that's fair. Okay, cool. So what would you say after that was your most what would you say after that relationship was a meaningful relationship for you then? After
I would
that.
say in college, my first
Mm.
college, I was pretty well. My first college girlfriend, I probably had two out of the whole 4.5 years I was there. I was with her from sophomore year up until like early senior year of college.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna be honest with you on this one, brother. Now I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. So
Okay.
what happened was once I became a part of that organization at that time, brother, like Omega is everything to me. But at that time, I had just crossed. I was feeling myself, smelling
Yeah.
myself, you know, and I eventually like ended that just to have my fun,
Okay.
you know. And after the fact, once I realized, I did apologize to her, and tried to make things right with her, tried to get back with her, but unfortunately, she didn't take me back. But at the time, I was just having my fun, as any other guy would, or athlete, whatever the case may be. But that was, at that time, that's just what I did, and that was a good girl. I lost a good girl, you know. I can say that for sure. But I'm a accountability. I stand on that. Like she was the one that got away. But and then the second girl, I mean, I dated when it was like off and on for about maybe a year or so. But it wasn't nothing just too deep. But I dated more so my college experience as opposed to just having this girl, that girl, da, 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 da. So yeah,
I hear that.
for sure.
I hear that. I hear that definitely. Okay, cool. So obviously you obviously got married. You got married.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you get married young, or was it something that you got married a little bit older?
I got married at 30. I'm 37. I got married at 31.
Wow. Okay, that's a good age. Mature. You start to earn a bit of money in your pocket.
You
I
know
guess
what?
most times.
At that time, there's a lot of growing that's happened between then.
That's fair.
I'm
That's
not
fair.
gonna just say I just had it all planned out. I figured it all out at 30. Hell no, man. So I was mature enough. I can say that, but I wasn't just full fledged, just that mature guy. That took some growing. That took some growing to do. Yeah.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I got married at 31 years old. I'm 30. I got divorced. I got divorced at 34. I'm gonna
Okay.
say. I'm gonna
So
say
3 years.
2.5, 3 years, somewhere in there. I had to make sure I had it right in my head. So
That's all right.
yeah.
What made you want to propose to the lady in question?
Well, at that time, she accepted me for me, flaws and all. I felt she understood me. She supported me. She was just, it was a friend before it became a relationship. And, at that time, between partying between 22 and 27, 28, 29, it just started to dwindle down.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, I want to go ahead and just, try to settle down thing, you know? And, yeah, I mean, again, she was a great supporter at the time. She really rocked with me, if that makes sense. So that was a sign right there. Because a lot of people say they can rock with you, but they end up turning, end up you seeing a different side of them or whatever. But when I seen it in her, I was like, cool, she rocked with me. We're gonna go ahead and just lock this one down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So because she rocked with you,
Mm-hmm.
that's what made you lock it all the way down. So obviously,
Mm-hmm.
looking back now at the relationship, obviously, I don't know if you can share it. If you don't want to share, I understand. What was
Talk to
the
me.
reason for what was the reason for it ending in divorce?
Well, we can talk now. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we on your show. Now these things are very, very, this is a
Tricky.
show. It's so
Yeah.
everybody's gonna know your business, right? Now, of course, like when I say I'm a private guy, like some things you're not just gonna know about everybody's relationship. I don't live life on TV 24/7. You don't see when I wake up, when I shower, when I eat. I'm out all over the place like that. But as we continue to grow together, we just started. We grew apart. The communication started to dwindle. We just weren't the best of friends the way we were before when we started. You know, things just started to just go. Just get out of control. Conversations weren't really aligning. Some people, we both had times where, how people are quick to speak and slow to hear, quick to speak. We both had that issue. We both were like just not. We were both just hot headed
Yeah.
during,
I get you.
in the union,
Yeah.
right?
I get you.
But it had its times. I'm not saying it was just like that the entire thing, but
Time. Yeah.
when it was good, it was good. But when it was bad, it got really bad.
I understand.
And it started to just take your emotions start to change. You start seeing a side of yourself that you never knew was there. Like, I know I'm not this person, but why is this? It's like shit. You know how to push these buttons very well because I'm starting
Yep.
to become somebody who I'm not. And vice versa though, because I have my faults too. I've thrown some slugs, some triggers, whatever you want to call it. So it was just like just a tit for tat, tit for tat. We were not able to get on the same page, man, as far as communications goes. We thought we were there, but things just started to just dwindle down. And after so many fights and so many just not being on the same page, it just said, you know what, and I'm speaking on my behalf. I said, you know what,
Yeah. It's fine.
I don't think this is gonna work because I can't continue to have an out of body experience with this person. And vice versa, I can't allow her to continue to have this out of body, experience
Experience.
with me. You know, so just certain events happen, certain disagreements happen. I mean, you could chuckle and say some things. You could probably say something that's funny to you, but she may take offense too. And then you be with your homeboy, stop being a little bit. Man, come on now, stop crying. You be all right. Trying to hear all that. And then that's why So it just started to dwindle down, man. And I knew I was starting to lose myself, and I just wasn't who I was. I'm not who I am right now. I'm not able to just be confident in this union the way I need to be, and that really took an effect. It took a toll on me, and vice versa. It took a toll on her, and I'm not a guy that was willing just to stay, knowing that
Yeah.
we have a child and things like that. I personally don't believe in that. Don't stay because of a child. Don't do that. I think that's very dangerous because A child, once a child sees that, there's no telling what type of trauma he or she may endure growing up. And that's something that I did not want my kid to see. He's seen it one time. And when I seen that boy's face, I said, no, I can't do this no more. I can't do this. I don't want him to see this side of me. This is nothing. I don't think this is healthy for him. It's not healthy for me. So we tried counseling. We tried, like the pastors, people that have been married 10, 20 plus, we just getting advice, trying to seek advice, trying to figure this out. But unfortunately, I knew like, nah, I know this is not going to work. I no longer want to try. And I don't want that to make me seem like I'm a punk or a quitter. But I know that within me, I know I don't want to do this. I know if I were to come home, I'm going to be in a separate bedroom. I don't want to do that because I see my parents do that. And I didn't want to repeat that cycle. Now hence going back to my people. Now, they still married, but they're not this lovey-dovey.
The lovey, yes, okay.
They're not this lovey-dovey family, right? Well, not family, but just union. They're not a lovey-dovey.
Yes, you don't see the romance.
You don't see that, right? So even though I didn't see it, but I still knew what romance was, like watching these TV shows, this Martin, this Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm seeing how, everybody, the mom and dad are just, they may argue, but at the same time, they still show compassion towards each other. And I knew that was something that I wanted to do forever. But I didn't see it with my family. And so I'm self-taught people who are, been doing this, and we were there at a certain point in time. But, after a while, again, things just started to dwindle down. It was just like, man, I don't see this. It's a point of no return now, And for the record, my son's mom, she's a great person. Yeah, I'm never going to down her, disrespect her. I'm never going to belittle her. I'm not ever going to do such thing. So I want the whole world, even your listeners, to understand that I'm never going to disrespect or belittle her. Just on account of what did not work out between me and her. So we're still a team, and when it comes to raising our kid, and that's it. That's really it. And we've been doing a great job, man. So he's happy. I can't complain. He's so happy. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. But I love that for him. So he sees the fact that mommy and dad, he understands now that mommy and dad are not in the same house, but at least the fact that when we are together, like baseball games or whatever the case may be, he sees that we get along because he knows we're both there for him. Make sense? So, if that answers your question, man, we're still a really good team when it comes to raising this kid right here. That's my boy. That's my big dog, man.
Appreciate it. It's interesting. Obviously, you mentioned about the lack of romance from parents because obviously, again, come from an African household. I don't know what you mean. I see the obligation, but you don't often get to see the romance aspect, right? Because sometimes people are working too much, life just chugging along. That's not the most important thing in the household, right? So the romance aspect. So I think, ask the real question. Looking back now, were you able to really give romance, though? Did you understand what romance was at that point in time? When you were married, did Jonathan, looking back now, did you really understand romance? I know you saw some stuff on the TV.
I can't say
but was it in?
I knew there was a romance guy in me, courting a woman and things of that nature. I knew that was in me. Of course, I'm watching these things and I'm duplicating these shows, like courting, respect, for showing that a woman is appreciated, things of that nature. That just took time for me to develop, if that makes sense. Actually putting it into action, getting a woman's car door, things like that. Like I had to learn that because I knew that's what works.
Same, yeah.
Pulling a woman's chair out at dinner. If she needs to go to the restroom, stand up, get a chair. I still do these things. These are just something that I knew would work. And I knew it would have been appreciated with anybody, any woman on a date, just getting a woman's door, going to the store, get a door for the one, just being that gentleman, So I knew it was in me. I just had to figure it out and just duplicate what I've seen. And just, that was my practice. That was my practice right there. So.
Okay. I definitely hear that. And listen, I get it. I think it's it's not an easy thing to want to, you know, call off a marriage because, of course, there are, like I said, the kids involved, and of course
Yeah,
you don't want to stay for the kids. But there's a lot of things riding on this. You know what I'm saying? So,
for sure.
you know, okay. So obviously, you know, you've stated a little bit about why obviously it broke up, and you know, and why it had to come to a particular end as well. And obviously saying about your growth as well in amongst that as well. If you were to do it, if you were to get married again, what would you do differently?
Slow to speak, quick to listen. Really hear where she's coming from. Really do my best understanding, you know, how she is, you know, how she's expressing herself. I've learned, like, even outside of, you know, now that I'm divorced now, I've learned that when a woman is talking to you, try to repeat everything that she said to you. That way she knows you're listening to her.
Listening. Hmm.
Just listen. Once you're listening and you actually repeat what she said, that opens up a door of like um, comfortability, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like it brings a wall down. Like just listening
Safe
and
zone.
repeating it's a safe zone. Boom.
Yeah.
Repeating what your partner has said to you. That way she knows that you're in tune with the conversation, right? What else would I do different, man? I would pray more with my partner, right? I'm very good at like dating, you know, like I dated my wife, right? My ex-wife at the time. So I'm good at that on that aspect. But I do want to be more spontaneous with it, maybe take one trip, things of that nature. Um, Checking in just emotionally, you know, hey babe, how was your day? How did everything go? Um, Hey babe, I see you kind of a little antsy. You got home, everything okay? Did I do something wrong? Or you know, just checking in, just checking in with your partner, my partner, whoever the case may be. What else would I do, man? I'm a flowers guy. I love to bring flowers home. I know that's like a token of appreciation type of thing. So like I have flowers here in my house. They're dead now, but I gotta re up. But I love flowers. Um, a good feet rub. You know, things like, you know, things that I somewhat did then, but I want to do them better going forward. So, you know, even just the little things that show that she is
Pay
appreciated.
attention. Yeah.
And, you know, again, like even if she says something that I don't like, I mean, I'm learning and I'm still learning, um, not to, I don't want to say sweep under the rug, but really just listen to what she says she does not like about me and figure out how to change that or how to improve on that. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, you know, just having that ear and taking that accountability, be like, okay, she doesn't like this about me. No, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna change that for her. And I want to at least show her that I'm putting in effort to where that, you know, she sees that I'm trying. Make sense? Okay. Boom. Boom. So I mean, and of course, there are other things that I'll figure out on the way, but you know, the main one is to be slow, listening to understand, and slow to listen. I mean, quick to listen, slow to hear. Slow. I'm missing my words, man. Being slow to speak but quick to listen. Whatever,
Yeah.
however that analogy, you know, terminology goes. So that's something that I will do better by practicing and things like that. So
I love that. You said obviously you're a people pleaser on the show. You were almost like a people pleaser.
I
You
say
people
that.
pleased your partner. Yeah, it's like you
Oh,
was like a people pleasing. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm wondering, what do you mean? What did you mean by that when you said you were people pleasing your partner in the relationship? You were almost kind of giving it all in a sense, right? So like, what do you mean by people pleasing in for you? What did you mean by that?
My woman.
Yeah,
So
because
say,
I think you said on the show you was like you're a people pleaser for your partner. You know.
well, I mean, I like to please my woman, my girlfriend, my partner. I mean, absolutely, whatever that means, you know, simple back rub, just showing her that again, she's important to me. Just
Mm.
like what I mentioned earlier, you're pulling out a chair, you're opening doors, you're doing all these things, you're just showing that affection. That's what I meant in the term of a people pleasing. Now, I'm not saying just I'm going to show out in front of like these hundreds of people out here. They do some crazy stuff. Nothing of that nature. But just, you know, being in tune with my partner in general. So as long as I'm pleasing, not even in a sexual manner, just a form of, just a form of, doing things, and, just making her feel like, that she's there. Like you're here with me. I'm here with you. I'm gonna do my best to make sure that you see that, that you appreciate. If that answers your question. Oh, who did I say that with? If you don't mind me asking,
I think it was I think it was during the game, if I remember correctly. I think he was saying, I think it might have been either during the game or maybe it was probably to Maya or something, because it was, I think, but I definitely remember you saying that you're a people pleaser. You're people pleasing, and people pleasing in the sense of, obviously what people pleasing in a sense means here is that, you are as a detriment. Sorry, he said he lost himself in a ratio. I apologize. It wasn't people pleaser. Apologies. Lost himself in a ratio is the correct term you used. Thank you for correcting me. You said, obviously, you lost yourself in the relationship. I added the word people pleaser. I do apologize. I've added context onto there. What did you mean by lost yourself in the relationship?
I didn't know how to be happy with myself. I lost in tune of who I was supposed to be. I felt like I was just giving my all to somebody and I wasn't getting nothing in return. I just felt like I was in it by myself. I knew I wasn't just, I got to the point where I lost confidence in myself. And I really did not know how to gain that back.
Why did you lose confidence? What was happening?
Well, shit, like, sorry for cursing, but, just,
That's right.
Just with experience in general, just, some people, I don't want to say some people can just bring you down, but just, it goes back to that pleasing aspect. Like sometimes, and sometimes maybe it's just not enough. That's good, but that ain't good enough. I'm like, what the God damn, what the hell am I supposed to do? Because I'm running out of ideas now. I don't like this feeling. I'm not who I am. I don't feel confident now. Like nothing's working anymore. Well, I don't want to go back to this high school space, but shit, that's where I'm feeling like, and that's what I meant when I said I felt like I felt less than a man. I don't feel confident as a man to even uphold this matrimony anymore. I don't feel it. It's just not here right now. I'm just blob, if that makes sense. So, I had it. It was going great. I lost it. I didn't know how to gain it back. I just did not know what to do. So, and that happens with people who are married 20, 30. I mean, sometimes you're going to lose that fire. Somewhere. Nothing's just, a smooth sailing situation. So, there are point in times where you're going to hate your partner. You may not like them, don't want to be around them. Can't stand it, can't even coexist in the same room, But eventually some people do find that spark back as far as from a confidence level. But, unfortunately, I did not. I did not. So, and I'm speaking for myself on that one. Nobody.
Yeah, of course.
So,
did you feel emotionally safe in that relationship though?
To a certain extent, yes, absolutely. At the very beginning, absolutely, yes, absolutely. But when things got worse, they just got worse and got worse and got worse. And I'm like, shit. I hope it's not gonna work no more. Because I don't feel safe. I don't feel vulnerable enough to tell you anything. I don't, yeah. I just kind of lost all of that, Kind of lost all of that. But ever since now that I'm on this side of things, I've gotten everything back. And I'm very, very careful on who I open up to and with what information. Because I do not believe in telling everybody just every single thing. I feel it's a step to those things. You have to really take your time to where you're very comfortable, just being that 100% vulnerable person. I don't believe nobody should do that off the rip, because you never know what that person will do with certain information. So that's something that I tread lightly on and I'm very careful about, or at least try to be careful about, because I'm not perfect. But, I'm learning still, even at this age. I still got so much to learn and go from. So, I don't have it down to the T. but at least I'm grown enough to. I mean, we can't go back, So
Yeah, of
you grow up,
course.
or you don't. So you're going to adapt, or adapt and take accountability, or you don't, right? So, like, I take accountability in what I messed up with my previous relationship. You know, like, I stand on that. Like, that was my mess up. Can't nobody else take this mess up from me. I stand on that. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I'm able to take that accountability, it wasn't easy, but I knew
Yeah.
I had to do it in order for me to get to the next level in life, just as far as maturity and then whatever other blessings that God has for me. You know, so that's something that's very important to me. Just growing up, we ain't got no other choice.
Mm.
We have no other choice but to grow up. So either you get what you get with it, or you don't. You get with it, or you get left behind. I'm not getting left behind because I've already been there and done that. So, and I'm very big on respect. I'm very big on respect, and that's something that I don't really take lightly from anybody, man or
Mm.
woman. So, yeah, man, accountability. That should be, talked about more, man. It's not easy to
I
talk
agree.
about. It's not easy to accept, but you got to do it. If you want to see some more blessings in your life, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. You
Mm.
have to do it. It's gonna hurt, but you got to do it. So,
Did you feel you were able to assert your needs in the relationship? Did you feel like you were able to really state your needs in the relationship, and they were heard, those
uh,
needs?
then, or like now or past.
Oh, the past is in that relationship, the
Well,
marriage.
I felt I stated what I felt at the time. Do I feel
Mm.
they were like intended to? It was kind of like this, Some days, like, some days they were, some days they weren't. You know,
Mm.
um, I'm not really big on confrontation. I don't like to argue.
Mm.
I do not. I don't know how to argue. I don't want that skill. It's not me. I'd rather sit at a round table and let's just talk this out. But when it comes to arguing, that's when emotions fly, and then people are just not who they're supposed to be. I've had those experiences when I'm just arguing. I'm like, you know what, curse word here, fuck that. I got time to knock all this shit over, right? Like, I didn't like that person, and I still don't like that person today. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still there. I mean, any people could push a button any day, and then you could just, I'm a human being, bro. I'm a human being, and it's just something that we have, learn to control. You know,
Were you confident? Confident, actually confident, but comfortable with anger as an emotion? Are you comfortable
no,
with that?
no, I was not comfortable with anger. Very uncomfortable. Very not me. Just not my character. It's just
Mm.
not my character. So when I start seeing, because I've seen people, I know we all know people who are just angry all the time. You know,
Mm.
I don't like that feeling, that emotion.
Yes.
Like, just keep that away from me. I don't. You can't come in here mad all the time, bro. Sis,
Mm.
like, what are you doing? Take this shit outside. Come back another day when you want to have a good time. Have some good conversation, whatever the case may be. But no, I'm very uncomfortable with being angry. I don't like it. What do I do to control it? Like, if let's say I'm pissed off right now, I'm gonna go outside, take a walk. Let me just breathe. Burn a spliff. Let me just get my shit together. Let me get my mind right, and then I'll come back and address the situation later. But I need a timeout right now. I'm not where I need to be, and I don't want things to get out of control. At least that's a practice. I don't
Mm.
have it down, but it's a practice. Let me just woosah, woosah, woosah. So, but my thing is walking. I love walking in general. Neighborhood, my apartment complex, or at the lake. That's my form of just decompressing. So, yeah, I'm not good at arguing. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose, brother. So, I got to focus on what I do have control over.
Mm.
Which is trying to be calm just be calm. Just relax. Let's talk, So,
No, I hear you, Captain. I hear you. Because I think you're kind of saying a few points now. I will round up soon on those points because I think you made some good points, which I think need to be addressed and brought to the foreground because you're making some good points in that aspect as well. So you spoke obviously about, obviously, some of the difficulties and challenges you face in that relationship as well. You've spoken about, your emotions as well within that relationship as well, why it broke down. And so I definitely appreciate you sharing that aspect. Now, obviously, on the show.
Easy, that wasn't
go
easy
for it.
at all. That wasn't easy, man. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No, you're good. You're good. Please.
It's not easy at all, man, but again, it's something
Which part's not easy for you? Which part wasn't easy?
Just talking about the whole deal of Jim. It's not easy, man. It's not easy.
Why is it not easy?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's not easy. Like that's very hard for me to just, dig up that type of work and just, speaking about it again. That's just me. That's just me in general. It's just like, okay, let's do this. It's just not easy in general. But I'm learning right now. I'm learning. Even right now with this interview right now, I'm learning to just, just talk, brother. Just talk, man. Just get it out, Just talk. So, sorry to cut you off, brother.
Listen, bro. I think you're having what we call a real-time experience of growth in that moment. One thing I always say, especially to audiences, like, because obviously I'm in therapy now and stuff, and some of the difficulties that I had growing up was, one, I was a people pleaser. See, my dad was around, but he wasn't around emotionally, so therefore I had to what we call self-regulate. Right? When you self-regulate, what happens is you self-soothe, you self-regulate, meaning that when you're emotional, you learn how to deal with the emotions yourself. And as a child, you're not supposed to do that. Your parent-giver is meant to help you regulate. It's meant to be a co-regulation until you get to a certain age where you then become independent and then you can regulate yourself. The problem is that when a child from a very young age is not emotionally taken care of, hence why I said the word neglect is not a nice word, but it is the word. When we're not able to be taken care of emotionally and we're not given the care we need emotionally to regulate ourselves, to co-regulate and to teach us how to regulate, we end up regulating ourselves. In that space, what tends to happen is that children tend to become avoidant of their own emotions. They tend to separate the emotions from themselves. They create a distance because having been in a space of emotions means that now I lose control. And that's how we look at it, as losing control. We look at it as looking at it as weakness. And so we stay in a place where we keep the emotions away from ourselves and as a form of maintaining some level of control. Because remember, the child has not had an opportunity to co-regulate and learn that quintessential language and skill. So what can happen, as you were mentioning, is you learn how to act, perform. You actually learn how to perform. And as a young child, like myself, like yourself, like you're describing, I'm a great actor. That's why I love the stage, because it allows me to be able to express certain things that I normally wouldn't be able to express verbally on a normal day-to-day basis, right? And so what happens is when I was going into relationships, one of the hardest things I found difficult, because again, my own self-worth and self-esteem was also not that great either, because again, as a young child, when you're not, I always say this, that for a lot of young children, black, white, whatever you want to call it, a lot of children are not loved for who they are, they're loved for what they do. So Jonathan, when you performed the adult rights of looking after your siblings, you're great, you're amazing, you're this, you're that. When Jonathan is just Jonathan, oftentimes you don't get that love. What I mean by that is not that your parents don't like you, not that your parents are going to shout at you. You're just not going to be praised for that. And as a child, you learn by what you learn by what you are positively reinforced by and what you're negatively reinforced by. So if you're not positively reinforced that Jonathan is good enough to just being Jonathan, what's going to happen is Jonathan's going to go outside and he's going to try and find his self-worth and self-value out there. The problem is, if you go out there, they're going to tell you what your worth is. And if your worth is not matching what they have outside, which is, let's say, first and foremost, your skin tone, you get out there and they start laughing at you or start cussing you or whatever they start saying about your skin tone. Now your value is also determined by the outside world, not by what you were born by, right? So that family you were in, because they didn't give you the proper self-worth. So now you're going to find it outside. Now they're going to tell you that Jonathan is this, right? That reduces your self-value once more again. Now, when you get into relationships, romantic-wise, you mentioned something so beautiful. You said that you don't really see the romanticness in your mother and father, right? Same as my parents too. They're together, but it's almost like obligation rather than romance. Okay, and when you get to that place, what happens is, just like you said, right? You have every good intention to do different. The problem is you need knowledge, you need understanding, and then you need wisdom to be able to do something different. Even if you want to do something different, if you don't have knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, it's going to be very difficult to do something different. So you get into relationships and you start losing yourself, because I lost myself in a lot of relationships too, because the reality of the situation is my identity is born on performance.
Mm-hmm.
So now if my performance does not meet expectation, who am I?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's no longer a safe space for me anymore, because if I'm doing what I'm quote unquote they say that a man should do to love you, I'm doing the romantic gifts, I'm taking you on dates, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing all the what we call the structured infrastructure of what quote unquote romantic love is, and you deny me, then who am I? Because I've done everything that I was said to do. I've performed, and still the performance is not enough. Now what's going to happen is, if this is not enough and I'm going to be rejected at this point, where the frick do I go from here?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where do I go from here? Mm-hmm. And this all starts actually from childhood and being a young child, because that young child needs to be affirmed and needs to be appreciated. And something you said was really powerful, because I know you're like the first male born, right? You said that you don't really mind that you were doing the responsibility aspect, right? And I agree with you. You know what I mean? Because I'm firstborn, so you ain't even got a choice. You don't even know what's good or what's bad. You know what I mean? But what happens is, again, you're used to playing a particular role and performing and being praised for that. And so we end up trying to replicate that in a lot of our relationships. So also, whatever you're missing, you try to find in a partner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't get that from father figure, mother figure, whatever, and you don't get that, that's going to happen also in a relationship. You said something really interesting again. You said about your mother too, that, you know, the little tussles that you guys are having, you didn't want to go too deep in it, but you kind of said the little tussles that you're having, the tussles were happening because there are things that you didn't want to actually do. There's times where you just wanted to be on your own and regulate, right? Because that's what they taught you. Without forcing you, they taught you independence, how to regulate yourself.
Right.
And so that also plays a role. And there's a lot of information. I do apologize. I just when it all comes, I just kind of fire it all to go. You know what I mean?
No, actually, I'm listening. I'm taking it all in right now. You know, I ain't gonna say it's unfortunate that we go through that as human beings, but I guess it's something that we have to endure. I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just blurting this right now. I don't know, but I mean, it certainly taught me, just this is training, teachings. You know, I mean, I don't know how to word it right now to you, but you know,
you're good.
We had to go through that in order to be where we are now. You know, and it's on us to to teach those same trainings to the youth, the younger generation, your kids. I don't know if you have children or not, but
no, no.
What you're saying is it's accurate. It's accurate, but only the strong will survive. Only the strong will survive. Oh shit! Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
You're good, bro. Do your thing.
Sorry about that. I had to.
No, bro. Don't be sorry.
That's my dad. I'll call him back, though.
Yeah, no. I'm not. I'm not against that. And I think that I'm saying this because I think a lot of times, especially when the men come on, I can identify with them and understand some of the difficulties when it comes to relationships, when it comes to ourselves, You know, and it was funny because I did a video on why men are angry, or why men become angry, right? A lot of times why men are angry but are not emotional. So it's like a lot of times we will say that we're not emotional, but men and women are both emotional creatures.
That's
We have to be
bullshit. Yeah.
emotional. Yeah,
You
we
have
have
to
to be
be. You
emotional.
have to be, man. I think it's very
We have to be.
important. No, I know. I'm not saying I'm just the leader of this whole thing, but I don't. I'm not afraid to cry. Even in front of my homeboys, I have no problem crying if I'm feeling a certain way. A hug can go a long way. A hug can bring out the tears in anybody. Especially if it's somebody who you really are, near and dear to. So, as a black man being vulnerable, it don't bother me at all, even though it's frowned upon, from either the older generation or those that are coming in. But I don't have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. So I cried last week. I was just overwhelmed with just a lot of shit going on. So
Same.
I had to get that shit out,
Out. Yeah.
in order for me to, keep moving forward. So, vulnerability, and it's okay to cry, black man. It's okay. Just get that shit out and you put your head up and keep going. Now, if you quit, hey, bro, but I need you to get back up, keep going, keep moving forward. So, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I hear it. I hear it. So for you, obviously, what took you onto Ready to Love, man?
Well, I was open to seeing what was out there. I didn't want to have an ego involved. I wanted to just see what the dating realm was like again, like the serious, trying, let me see if I find somebody. Because I do want to be with somebody. I do want to get married again. I do love the values, the core values of marriage. Unfortunately, I did not work the first time, but, I still foresee that in my lifetime. I do want to be with one person and, raise a family and just do the family thing. I came on the show again, just open minded. Let me see what's out there. Let me see what's going on. And, let me meet some new people. Like me and the guys are still very cool to this day. I speak to a few of the girls, very few, but even those that I don't speak to, if I see them, I'm still gonna speak. That's just my character. Even if we may not be on the same page or like, just sometimes it can be awkward, to be honest with you. But, I gave it a chance, and it didn't work out, unfortunately. But that didn't like down my beliefs of like I'll never be with somebody type thing. So I just wanted to go in there and just see what the possibilities were, you know. So yeah.
Appreciate it.
I met some great women. Like, all the women are cool. I mean, everybody's cool with me. I'm cool with them. Nobody disrespected me. I didn't disrespect anybody. So, I don't feel I had any bad blood per se with anybody. So, yeah, it was cool, man. It was cool. Cool experience. Cool experience.
So obviously you're in the mixer. You obviously got to do two mixers in the sense because obviously you had your separate mixer and then you guys obviously came together. So for you, obviously out of both as well, who was the first person you really kind of connected with, conversation wise? You just had a conversation, you just connected with. You felt, you know what, this person might have something about them. Who was the first person for you?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, me being just a people person, I connected with everybody. But on the like my let's say top three or whatever you want to say, Maya was in my mixer. LaRon, I see you, brother. Maya was in my mixer, right? And I felt like we had a really good conversation just off of just, hey, how you doing? What's your name? You look beautiful. What's going on with you? Laylin, she was like my second one, even though it was a little bit shorter than what I did with Maya. Did I have I don't think I had a third. I can't sit up here and say I had a third. I felt like Rashina, we had our fun, goofy moment. She's the homie. She's a really, really, really cool person. I can see myself hanging out with her, getting along. Like we go out together, we're gonna have a fucking ball. But though I would say those two girls in particular that I believe I had more of a connection with them during my mixer, before everybody else came together. So, but yeah, I felt me and Maya had a great conversation. I felt me and Laylin had a great conversation. Me and Patrice had a good conversation. I'm trying to get my memory right. Who else, man? Who else was there? I had very little time with Vanessa. Uh, yeah, I think that's it, brother. To my recollection, yeah.
That's cool. I like that. Obviously, you connected with a few people. Leline, obviously, Maya. We saw those connections. Some of the things didn't go too well. Look like Rasheen didn't go too well. Koshia didn't go too well. Talk to me about what happened there with Rasheen and Koshia. It didn't seem like it was going too well.
Rashida, really? You didn't feel that way?
It didn't look like it. When she,
We matched very well. I remember we had our conversation. We was at the two tape. It was like two seats. She wore pink that day. She wore a pink dress. I felt we got along. I mean, despite what
did
you've
you?
seen, like I feel we did have along. But as far as like Cole was a very sweet girl, but I didn't feel no form of connection with Cole. I didn't feel no form of just like, we mesh or anything like that. I just didn't. It wasn't there, and I knew it wasn't there. So I just gave what I could with her during that time. Very nice, very respectful. Just have some sort of conversation. But yeah, I didn't really like. I didn't foresee a future with her. So that's why I never like tried to pursue her or anything of that
Okay.
nature. But
How come you
Rashida,
didn't see a future with her?
I felt Rashida was great. I mean, even though again, I didn't really see a love interest with Rashida, but I felt like we was like, shit, this the homie right here. I can rock with her. Like, as friends, friends, whatever you want to call it, like I can feel we can have a great time going out, amongst friends and things of that nature. So, you didn't see that with Rashida? Okay, cool.
I don't know. I didn't see that connection. Okay,
Well,
cool.
connection,
And even the Koshia one. So when obviously you mentioned that she wasn't going deep, what was that conversation like? Tell us a little bit more about that conversation because it seemed like she wasn't going deep. Was that editing, or was that actually that she genuinely wasn't able to go deep and give it an answer?
I just felt that we were not able to like really hold a conversation.
Okay.
I just didn't feel we just could carry it. I felt like, I didn't know what to ask her to where she was able to talk to me. Like it just wasn't there. I remember we were I don't know where we were at, but we were playing darts. We were throwing darts. That was cool. And then when it came to actually sit down and have a conversation, things that did just not click. They just did not click, which was okay, But I knew I didn't have any interest or trying to be with her in general. But just I'm here, be a gentleman, and just be yourself. Try to have some type of entertainment going on amongst us. But it wasn't there from day one. And then the fact that we actually had a date one-on-one, I just like, I'm not feeling this one. So,
Okay.
I never tried to pursue.
Okay, cool.
But overall, again, sweet girl, respected me. I respected back. We did what we could. So yeah, I feel she's a good woman. I do feel she's a good woman. Just I don't see a relationship with her and I.
I hear it. Okay. So obviously your
I want to sound
connects.
cookie cutter with that one, but
No, that's all right.
just
I'm not even
didn't.
mad at it.
You know,
I'm not even mad at it. Not even mad at it. So obviously you had a connection. Obviously, unfortunately, Leline had to go. So Leline, we saw Leline's little bit of connection. Maya was also another one as well. You know, I want to know. Obviously, and obviously Alexis as well. Sorry, apologies. Alexis was another one that was your connection as well. Before you got thrown out, I say, who was your strongest connection and why were they your strongest connection? Yeah, they said get the frick out of here. So, who was your strongest connection before you were leaving? Who was your strongest connection and why were they your strongest connection?
well, I felt as we continue to go on with the whole season, I started to sense more with Alexis. Because when I first met her, we had a really, really good conversation outside of the brunch that we had,
Okay.
and things were just going well. We were just able to just tackle every question, every there were some giggles and jokes in between there. Telling where she was from, how type of food she ate. We just got along very well. So I'm like, okay, I like this girl. She seems very nice. She seems like my type of woman to be with. But as things continue to like trickle down, I started to see like her and Will start to you know, become a thing or whatever you want to call it. I'm just seeing her like kind of drift off and like, with this guy. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna keep trying because this is my last little rodeo. I wasn't interested in anybody else. So if it wasn't gonna work out with her, then I get it, but I wasn't there to play around with nobody else. So and then I kind of seen Maya drift off with some of the other guys and things like that. So it's like, okay, do I want to fight these other guys to get this girl, right? So I'm like, I don't want to do all that, man. I'm good on that one. I mean, hopefully we can eventually come back around and have a conversation, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. So I said, let me just try to zone in right here with Alexis. But again, once I started to see that with her and Will, I still tried, especially at the slumber party, pool,
The pajama party.
Pajama party. We had our moment, by the pool, and then I just felt like, okay, let me just keep trying. So, but unfortunately, that did not work out. That did not work out. But I felt there was something there, but I was wrong.
Okay. I definitely hear that. I'll come back to Alexis and we can explore that a bit more. But obviously, you got interrogated by both April and Mika concerning, your situation with the mother of your kids, and so they were trying to get some information out of you. People would like to have you clear it up because obviously it was kind of clear but not clear all the way through. So what was the information Mika and April were actually trying to find out? Well, let me first take Mika because April's slightly different. What was Mika trying to find information about you? It sounded like she was trying to get an understanding of where you stood with the mother of your kids and what kind of open of the door is.
Right. Well, there is no open of the door at that time. Now, I can say this. Let me just rewind. That was a long ass day, brother. And, the drinks were going around. It was just a very oily day, should I say. When she asked me, okay, this is what I heard in my mind, right? I heard the term baby mama, right? Which doesn't really sit well with me because I don't have a baby mama. I'm not a baby daddy. But I felt that was the first words that she thought I was, right? So if that's what she wanted to run with that. That's which I felt she was running with. So I said, okay, well, if that's how you feel, then I'm gonna give you, what you're saying. But I'm not a baby daddy. I've never been one before. I don't even know what it feels like to be a baby daddy, So when she asked me, what's going on with me and her, nothing's going on with me and her, by all means. Nothing at all. I believe she asked me, does she still want to be with me? I do have that sense, but I know that's not never going to actually happen. I know that within myself, it's not going to work out. So, I didn't watch the episode, but I remember that day very well. So, but when I just heard the term, how you and your baby mama doing, they just kind of said, oh yeah, I don't want to do this one. I don't want this one. But why did I not come off and saying I was divorced or whatever? I guess you could say that baby mama term was a trigger for me to let's not do this one. I don't want to be involved. Now, going back, I saw the clip. It's too late now, obviously, but she did say, how are you and your son's mother? I'm gonna at least give her that. But at that time, I didn't hear that, bro. I had a lot that day, a lot. So, that term just kind of just turned me off. And I was kind of like, let's shut down. Let's just say it. I shut down. Let's be honest. I shut down, So, but yeah, if that answers the question, yeah.
Well, I definitely understand that. And were you able to explain all of that to Mika at the time? And was it all explained to Mika at the time that, you just explained it quite eloquently and beautifully about the scenario, but were you able to express that to Mika? Because it looked like she didn't get all the answers that she wanted.
Well, I think I did when we did a double date. It was me, Maya, LeBron, Mika. I believe I did. I know I did actually, because we had our one-on-one moment. And And I believe I did. I know I did, should I say. I know I did when we had that time. Because at first, I didn't tell her that I was a divorcee. The very first time we had met, I didn't tell her that. But when
How
we had
come?
that, well, again, you could go back. You know how in conversations, like certain things just have to get to that point, get to that level. Like the conversation has to just slowly arise to where you start just having those, you know,
Mm.
oh, and this, oh, and that. I didn't feel that we had got there because my main goal was just to just know who the hell you are and what's going on. I mean, at least that's how I presented it. But it wasn't like, well, I mean, it was presented back to a certain extent, but I just wanted to know who she was in general, just off the rip, before I even got to that point. You know, cookie cutter stuff. What's your favorite color? What do you do? Da 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 da. Like simple, basic, fundamental questions. And I kind of wanted to build up to where it got there, but unfortunately, it did not get there. And to where she found out when we had that double date. Oh, you were married? I'm like, yeah, I was, man. I was. But it was nothing to hide. I didn't lie about anything. It had to, there's a build up to everything that you do. Now, so hence, some conversations that I had with some of the women, it got to that point, that build up to where I was able to be okay. Like say, oh yeah, tell them I'm divorced. But it took, just a build up. It was just a build up, and the fact that we just met them then, like, okay, let me just learn these people. And then once we have those intimate times, then I can, tell more. But I didn't lie about anything. I didn't try to hide anything. It didn't get to the point where I could tell her. For me. So, yeah.
Okay. No, I get it.
It sounds strange, but I mean, you know.
I get it. So you didn't let her know because it wasn't the right time to let her know, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, because we still doing this whole speed dating thing. Like, we haven't even, I'm meeting the second group of people. So it's like, okay, let me just figure things out, through conversation. But it just didn't get there. And that's my fault, since, and again, not to be, sneaky with anything, but that was my fault, I just didn't feel it was the time, And that may not be, everybody's perspective. Everybody, does things different, but that's just how I handled it at the time. Sorry about the noise, man. They probably
No, you're good. You're good.
They probably out here looking for me, man.
I get it. I actually understand it as well, so I definitely understand that. Now, April obviously put you on a hot seat too.
April, she did.
Yeah.
Okay. What'd she say?
I can't remember now. I'm trying to remember the exact words. I remember doing a whole video on it. She put you on a hot seat. She was asking some questions, man. She was asking some questions, but I can't remember what she was saying. She was asking about, oh my God. Maybe the audience will help me. Somebody will put it in the chat.
I felt that was a good date. I felt we had a really good date, really good conversation.
You thought it was a good date between you and April. Maybe do you not see the edit?
I did not. But I remember when we were there. Now, like, we were there for at least 2 hours. So maybe that one little snippet of an edit kind of made it look like we just did not have a great conversation or a great date. But we had a great time. Even despite what they showed, on the episode. But I knew we had a great time. We even talked after, like, once we got, took mics off and all that stuff. We still, having conversations. So, I didn't see what,
Oh, okay.
why they would take just that. I didn't see it, but I, you read comments, things like that. So
And that's what she was asking. If you're spilling the block with the ex, that's what she was asking. She was asking those questions because it looked like again you was about to shut down on her, man. I can't lie to you. It looked like she was doing too much for you and you were shutting down. So that's why I said I don't know how good the date was when you were about to shut down.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the information. And I didn't remember, but yeah, okay, well, I can say that I have shut down before. I'd rather just admit the shit. I've done it before. It happens. But for me to say, no, I don't shut down, that's, come on, yeah, you're not being real, but I knew we had a great time that day. We went to Village Burger. We had a great time. I remember that very vividly. But those particular questions, yeah, I don't forgot, bro. I don't forgot, man. So.
Yeah. All right, I hear that. So taking away those two, let's get back on to Alexis. Obviously,
Right.
the pajama party. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the pajama party.
Yes, sir.
Oh, baby. We gonna need to know what happened at the pajama party. Okay. So the pajama party, listen, it was an extravaganza. I don't know why they did the pajama party so early. It felt like it was a bit premature. But anyway, you know, they did it. So for you, obviously, pajama party, you know, for you, you had a conversation with Alexis earlier on. You know, she was saying that, you know, she felt like you know, she felt like, you know, you were
Just say
kind
it,
of
brother. What you say, man?
reserved, like reserved, conservative, almost in a sense, right?
You know what? I've heard that a lot. Not even a lot, but I've heard it, right? I'm still trying to understand I'm still trying to understand that part about me. Reserved, like kept type shit, like closed off. Like
Chill,
what's your
too
definition of
chill,
reserved?
very very chill. So very very
Okay.
chill. So reserved is almost like almost nonchalant about some things. Sometimes a bit more chill. You know, not so excitable in sense, right? Not so animated. Not so, you know, you're a bit more chill.
Well, I know when I go out, like just social events. I mean, you don't know everybody. I'm really a cool, calm, and collected guy. I'm not gonna erase that as from myself. I'm cool, calm, and collected. I smile, I talk. You know, if I don't know you, like if we don't, if I say I met you, I've seen you somewhere. I'm not gonna come up and speak to you. We may make eye contact. I may give you a heads up, or a peace sign, something like that. But you know, um, I'm a pretty all around guy. I know how to have fun. People know how to bring the fun out of me. Vice versa. I didn't feel that way, but people have told me that, and I'm still trying to understand that about myself. I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, what am I doing to make me feel reserved? Because I'm cool with everybody. Not say to everybody, but just I tend to my business, stay in my space. People watch a lot, but I know
That
I'm
might
a
be why you're
wild boy.
reserved.
I know I'm a wild boy when I can be, especially when you're comfortable around those people who who have no judgment towards you. But it's something I'm still trying to learn about myself. This whole reserve term. But if I'm too cool, calm, and collected, I mean, shit, I don't see nothing boring about that right there. But I'm not just a boring person. I know that I'm not a boring person at all. So again, it's
Yeah.
something that has been told to me over the past year or so. So I'm still trying to figure that out, learn it, whatever.
Okay. Do you think that? Do you think her saying like basically that you were reserved, that it kind of made you want to show a different side of you at the pajama party?
Oh no, man! I'm gonna tell you about the pajama party. Hey, man, I don't know where to start. Okay, boom, we started playing games and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
This is just juice, by the way, brother. I'm not drinking on your show, on your platform. It's just some ocean spray cranberry juice, man. Um, we ended up playing a game. Everybody come back in. We're gonna have a little icebreaker, have a little game time. Da, 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 da. In my opinion, the game was so boring, bro. It was just not fun. I felt people were just not being able to be themselves. Maybe because you got the strangers around, cameras. Let me reserve myself, should I say, right? So the game was so boring. It got to a point where it was so boring. People were asking boring questions and actually performing boring things. I said, you know what? I ain't got time for this shit. I, Ron asked, he said something. He asked me a question, which I forgot. And I said, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, I was intoxicated during that table. So I said, you know what? Let me do something to spice up this room, man. Let me see if this works. I don't know. I don't know. I thought I did a good job. I'm getting a lot of A's. Okay, boom, there we go. We're being people now. All right, let's have some fun. Forget these cameras. all this other stuff. Let's do something to spice it up. But unfortunately, after the fact, I felt, I heard, that made her very uncomfortable, right? Which I did not mean to do intentionally, but I felt that it needed a little spice in this room, because if you was there, you would see exactly what I'm talking about. It was just boring as hell, man. And I felt I should try to spice it up a little bit by picking her up and just. But unfortunately, it made her uncomfortable, and I guess that was my last little, ruha, I guess you could say. But I did apologize to her. I think I did it. I did it on camera as well, because I don't disrespect people like that. If I made you uncomfortable, so. But the game was boring, brother. I'll be honest with you. It was boring as hell. And the fact
So you was thinking to spice it up. You was thinking to spice it up. You're gonna try and
not necessarily picking her up. I get what you're saying. I get where you're trying to go with it. Right?
I'm just trying to understand it. So
I was told to whisper something in your connection,
yes,
right? And so I said, you know what? Let me pick her up. And I somewhat whispered in her ear. Like, I don't know if you've seen it. I somewhat whispered in her ear, but again, it was just something just to put a little spice on top of the whole thing. But again, it was a poor move on my end, even though I thought it would have been a good one, just to, but that was just something that I have to live with, But at the end of the day, I was a man about it, and again, apologized. So it was a bad choice, but hey, man, when you on that oil, man, anything can happen, brother. Anything, and we just hope it's accepted the right way. So,
what was Alexis's response to this? Obviously, after the show. I mean, not after the show, but after the incident happened. I'm sure she reached out to you. So, what was her perspective?
She was very uncomfortable. She didn't expect that to happen. She did not want to be seen like that on a televised network in that manner. And overall, just I'm uncomfortable, Jonathan. I did not like that. So I was like, all right, well, Alexis, I apologize to you. Didn't mean to put you in this space. I was just trying something, and it did not work. And she accepted my apology. We gave a hug, and that was it. But I'm glad she came and talked to me about it, because if she didn't, just what's done is done, right? So I apologized to her, and we still cool. So yeah, poor choice, man. I stand on that. So
no, I respect that. Obviously, you apologize to her because she says it. You apologize to her behind the scenes, and obviously you apologize on the show as well. So I totally understand that as well, and I appreciate it. And I see the comments as well. Appreciating, obviously, you did apologize for what actually happened as well. So obviously, you got put off the show. Well, I say put off the show, but obviously they quote unquote voted for you off the show, which is feeling a bit weird. Did you feel like production got involved in releasing you from the show?
Man, they probably did, probably didn't. I don't have a clue, honestly. She said the girls have voted and said, hey, you're going off the show. I mean, again, she was my only connection that's left. If I would have kept on going, it's like I would have kept trying to dig in with her. But, let's just say she had left. I'm just here now, I'm just gonna be here. I'm just gonna key in with everybody else type of thing. So it's like it was good that it happened the way it happened, because did the producers have a their hands in it? Maybe so, probably so. I won't know the truth if they did or if they didn't. But when she said the girls voted, I took that for what it is and for what it was, and I said, okay, damn. But it's okay. It's I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk. Obviously, it just wasn't my time. So either I cry over this shit or I keep moving forward. So
okay, I definitely hear that.
Yeah.
Definitely hear that.
Yeah, For sure, man. For sure.
Mm.
But you know,
Uh,
overall, a great
okay, yeah.
experience. I had fun, bro. Great experience. I had fun. Met some beautiful people. Again, I'm really cool with all the guys. Like we brothers in a sense now. You know, that was something Tommy had mentioned it from the beginning. He wanted us. Eventually, we all want to develop a brotherhood, sisterhood amongst the cast, and he was right. He was right, man. So you know, these guys are a part of my life now. You know, as well as I'm a part of theirs. So you know, it's always love and respect every time we see each other. Always, brother. We hanging out like soon. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got the reunion April 5th. April 5th, man. You should come to Texas. You should come to Texas, man, and be a part of the extravaganza, man.
We'll see what the Lord does. Let's see if He leads
You need
me.
a plane ticket? We're gonna figure it out for you. We'll figure it out. We'll get you out here,
Yeah.
man.
You
He
give me a
said,
plane ticket. I'll come out. I can work at any
oh,
time. You give me a plane ticket. I'll come out.
I don't know what them London flights are, but we'll figure something out. We'll figure
It won't
something.
cost you a quick 600 or something. I'll tell you that now. But you fly me out, I'm gonna take it.
You should come, man. It's gonna be an extravaganza, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. LeBron is he's doing a great thing with this project. You know, with this whole, you know, reunion
Coming
show.
together and stuff in it.
Man, you gotta come, brother. It's gonna be a ball. I promise you that. A ball. It's gonna have a great time. Great time. We're gonna have some Q&A, a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, for
I
sure,
love
man.
that.
I had a
I
great
love that.
time. I had a great experience with this platform and the people that were involved, you know. And yeah, man, there's no telling what's next, to be honest with you. You know, so for sure though.
Last few questions, obviously about Alexis. Obviously, did the connect has a connection continued after the show, or was that connection deaded after that situation that happened at Pajama Party?
Yeah, it was pretty much dead, man. I don't it was dead. Yeah, it was dead. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like we still don't like meaning like do we still talk after the show and all that other stuff? No, we haven't
yeah. I
been
mean,
in
I guess obviously I thought there might be still a connection still.
no, we haven't been in communication. We have not been in
You know.
communication. Nah, unfortunately. But nah, we have not. We have not. So
Hmm.
well, unless you know something I don't know about what's going on. What you
No, I don't know anything. I was just wondering. I just thought that there might be a connection still going on
nah, we
because
haven't
clearly,
like
obviously, after the situation, you know.
well, like when it comes to like social media, we'll like like DM like she posts a story, LOL, laugh, how you doing, things like that. But you know, nothing like there hasn't been a romance since the
Hmm.
show. No, 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 it has not.
Okay.
Has
Do
not
you
been a
feel? Do you
romance.
feel? Sorry, go. No, go for it.
Go ahead, bro. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
No, no, I was gonna say, uh, so obviously, Alexis was the strongest connection at the end, so that means everyone else kind of filtered away. Maya kind of filtered away as well. Um, I mean, obviously, looking back at this particular experience, what was your greatest learn from this experience?
What was my greatest learn from this experience right here, man?
Mm.
Um, how can I answer that question? What was my greatest learn from this experience, man? Outside of just having a great time. Hmm. Shit, man, I'm a little brain fart right now on that one, man. Well, like I said before, like well earlier I've been told reserved. I'm trying to figure that part out right there. That's been
Mm.
my biggest takeaway from this thing. Um, I'm very comfortable to be around, things like that. But for the fact that I'm just too, you know, I want to open that up more. I don't want to be a reserved guy. You know, be reserved when I need to be, but just that's like your first, impression of me. I don't like that. I want to change that about myself because I know I'm a very, very fun individual. You know,
Mm.
um, but that's probably the only nail on the hammer that I can say. And also, like you said, like they've been mentioned before that I've shut down, which I have experienced that before. That's something that I'm working on. I'm working on it. I'm not sweeping it under the rug. I deal with it later next year. No. So those will probably be the biggest two takeaways. Um, you know, about self, should I say? I know I can do it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can do it, man. I'm a great guy, and I know I can be a better man than what I am today. Even last year, you know, I know it. I gotta believe that within myself, and nobody can take that away from me, brother. So, you know, black man on the rise. You know,
I hear that.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
mad at you.
Yeah,
Was
man.
there anything else? Was there anything else on the show that you wanted to recognize? Anything else on the show that you wanted to just kind of like address? Anything we missed? Anything you want to address?
Not necessarily like I want to address it per se. I mean, I just hate like I missed like that next journey of what you'll see coming up soon with the getaway. I hate I wasn't a part of that experience because I felt I probably would have had more time with it with Alexis to do more things. Well, you know, just like, you know, just to learn more, just secluded for 3 days, no work for 3 days. Just I had to be in this house and just glued in and zone in on what I wanted. So that's the only thing I would say I would miss that I did miss from this whole thing, you know. I felt, because I mean, from the very beginning, I thought it was going to be like everybody in one house and we staying here for, you know, that's what I thought it was, like a real world reality show type of thing. That's what I thought it was going to be. But since it wasn't, it was like, okay, this is different. It's different, but that's one thing. I would say that. I would say that. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
All right, I hear that. I definitely.
Is it cold out there, man? Is it cold out there? Is it cold out there?
It's freezing. It is cold. It's freezing.
Okay. It's hot out here in Texas, man.
Listen, let me know, man. I was there last year, man. I was in Houston last year, and I came to Dallas for a day or two. But yeah, definitely, you guys have some warm temperature.
You a big cat, man. You a big guy, man. You work out a lot. I see you.
Yeah. I like to pump some muscles, you know. Gotta pump these muscles up. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm trying to get like you, man. I've been skinny all my life, bro. So I'm trying to at least, you know, figure out my physique thing. But
you're tall, man.
Working for me right now.
Don't worry, you're tall. You're not even a problem. You're tall, so some of us don't have that height. Yeah, but not as tall as you, Cap. You know what I mean? You got that extra height, which makes the ladies feel safe.
I'm 6'3" tall, man.
Exactly. I'm nowhere near. I'm nowhere near. But is it last but not least? But is there anything that you're doing right now that you'd love for us to get behind? Any projects that you'd love for us to kind of join up and get behind?
Just follow me on my Instagram, Jonathan Lamar _. You'll just see what I'll be posting, man. You know, I'm also an inspiring actor, so you know, I got a few projects coming up. I got my next project we call Landman, which I'll be shooting in a couple of weeks with Billy Bob Thornton out here in Fort Worth, Texas. So that's a pretty big project for me. So that'll be out like late, like the third or fourth quarter via Amazon Prime. It's called Landman. So that's a big project for me right now. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Excited. So other than that, April 5th is the reunion. I hope you're ready. It's going to be a great time. A lot of things, you're gonna see a lot more stuff come into play. Like, whoa, huh? What? Yeah, what? She did what? Hell no. You know, things like that. But overall, the reunion, April 5th, is going down. Season 9 of Ready to Love. I am Jonathan Lamar. I appreciate everybody watching the show, supporting the best way you can. I hope this interview taught you a little bit more about myself as opposed to what you've seen on camera, on camera. And yeah, I'm a human being just like everybody else, just trying to figure my way in life. So just know God is real. And I love each and every one of y'all. So thank y'all for your support. Thank you, Littleblackbook, for allowing me to come on your platform and just speak, just talk, just have a conversation. I was a little nervous at first. I'll be honest with you. I was a little nervous. I didn't know what to expect, brother. I did not know what to expect, but I had a great time. I hope we can do this again. Happy New Year. All that good shit, man. So thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Hopefully I'll meet you one day, shake your hand, give you a hug. And yeah, man. I'm here, baby. I'm here, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. No worries, man.
Yeah, man.
Audience, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us today. You know what it is. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's not much I wouldn't do, so be careful out there at all, okay? And shout out to Laron, Chaz, and Dom in the chat as well for supporting
My
Jonathan
God.
as well. We
My
appreciate
God.
y'all. And we will definitely, hopefully, get the chance to have. I know Laron will be back on soon. Hopefully, we get Chaz and we can get our good brother Dom on as well. But listen, audience, thank you so much. We'll have a great night and evening. We'll see you again very, very